Hey everyone, welcome to OGHQ. This is our entryway, and we have the amazing Sonic MSS Plus cabinets up front here. And I think there's a misconception here. Most people think that being obsessed would be to have a clean looking cabinet set up in their garage. But to me, the harder part is what goes in the drawers and how do you manage that? How do you deal with that? And so I want to show you what I've learned over the years and why Sonic MSS Plus and what's coming, the new Sonic MSS, is probably the best overall package, the best system that currently exists. So here's the trickiest part, I think, with this. We've all accumulated tools over our lifetime, right? We accumulated a myriad of different things, some good, some bad. And so you have to kind of ask yourself, how important is an ecosystem like this? Because this is where I think Sonic wins. We have an ecosystem of beautiful cabinets. We can do some sort of custom top. They make amazing tops as well. We set up our audio video experience. We may even put microfiber towels and detailing stuff, and we kind of have a place in our cabinets for stuff. But what about tools? This is where it gets really tricky. I don't want to end up with a drawer where, and I don't have any of those here, but where I open the drawer and things are just kind of set in place, and maybe have a little bit of organization, but the structure and organization of your random grouping of tools is a really hard thing to think through. And so I, over the years, have struggled with, well, I've accumulated this stuff. Eventually I had to just make a choice, and I gave away my the acquired tools in life, and I decided to go with a full structured system like Sonic. And I struggled with this because I actually had some tools that I thought were better than Sonic. I had a couple of weird screwdrivers, and I had some stuff that was better. A couple of sockets and ratchets that I thought were superior. And so for the very first time, about 6 years ago, when I got my first Sonic MSS cabinet set up, I abandoned all my tools, and I went fresh and clean and new, and I bought a full set of Sonic MSS foam inlays for my Sonic MSS cabinets, and I abandoned all my other stuff. But I thought, I'm making a sacrifice here. I'm choosing the Sonic tools because they make the best foam inlays in the world, and then the combination of the fit and finish of their cabinets combined with the foam inlay, I think is a superior ecosystem. I do think there are better structured, more stout cabinets that exist. The Rousseaus that are on the other side of this room, I think, are a overall sturdier cabinet. I think the fit and finish of this is still superior to anything in the world, but there are cases to be made for there are better cabinets with sturdier drawer glides. But when you put the combination together of I've abandoned my tools, I've gone with an ecosystem, I've always thought over the last 5 or 6 years, I thought, well, I'm just making a concession. The Sonic tools, I like them, but I'm not sure that I love them. So I lived with them for 4, 5, 6 years. Then at my house here recently, I decided, since I had the MSS foam inlays, I would go down the tool grid route. And this is another very viable option. In fact, I've got some Sonic tools in here that are tool gridded. And so Tool Grid is a organization system where I'm able to take my tools that are loose. Let's see, I got another tool grid here somewhere. Oh, here's a great example. So there's a hybrid drawer where I have some tool grid, because I had some other screwdrivers that didn't fit in the foam inlay. And so I did a little bit of a hybrid. So tool gridding is another option for you. It's quite a bit more work. Whereas with the Sonic system, I have a drawer. It's perfectly designed for the tools. I can take the foam inlay. It takes minutes to put in place. But in the back of my mind, I had this in my head that, man, if I went down the Japanese, German, fancy, bling tools, that I would appreciate that more, and I would just tool grid it all. So after having lived with both, this is my favorite Sonic drawer, this one right here, which is the 1/2-inch socket ratchet set. I just think it's the best looking drawer on the darn planet. After having lived with foam inlays for many years, used them, did many car projects, many garage projects, and then having lived with for about a year and a half now, living with a bespoke set of tools and tool grid, I keep coming back to this Sonic Tools just do it for me. The ecosystem, the fact that the tools are great, they're really awesome. Do they make the best in class of every single tool? I don't think so, but they're up there in the top, 10% in quality in pretty much any use case of tools. Put that together with the fit and finish of the cabinets. The tools and drawers and foam inlays are designed to fit the drawer specifically, and I think you have one of the best combinations in the world, if not the best. For me, it's my favorite, and I think the best combination. I needed to go moonlight elsewhere, try something else with a different cabinet, with a different organization structure, with a different set of tools, and if I could only choose one, this is it. So here's something I think you need to think about. If you are going to do, in this case, I have 22 drawers worth of tools, all these amazing tools that are, set up here with all the different cases. Here's our impact sockets. We have our specialty, Allens, Torx, triple squares, all that stuff there. We have hammers and chisels, in a drawer. So I have all these different combinations of things, of different types of tools throughout. And it's important to realize that if I'm going to tool grid, if I'm going to organize tools like this, I'm going to need to commit. I'm not sure how much, like this drawer would probably take you 2 or 3 hours to put together. I've got to cut the boards. I've got to then lay it out, and I've got to decide how I'm going to organize this. Same thing with the drawer I showed you earlier, this one here. So if you're going to go down the path of bespoke tool grid type organization to organize your tools that aren't found in foam inlays, you're going to commit at least dozens of hours if you have, if you have a bunch of drawers. In my case, in my full 20-ish drawer set of tools in my house, 150 hours, 200 hours over the course of 6 months, sort of building and organizing my tool set, putting labels on. Versus this drawer here with foam inlays, I buy this, I unwrap the cellophane, I lay it in the drawer, I decide if that's the right drawer, and I'm done. So you're talking minutes, maybe a couple of hours to set up a full master collection of tools versus a couple of months. That's the difference between doing a tool gridded, organized setup versus a foam inlay organized setup. So there's pros and cons to both, but a major pro to foam is that I can do this in a few minutes. Maybe I'll come back once or twice and kind of move some drawers around. If I didn't like the exact spot I put them in, I'll generally spend a little bit of time thinking through, I want my 3/8 here, I want my 1/4 inch here. And so thinking through those kind of things is important, but you may make a few adjustments to how you put the foam inlay in, and that's it. So you're talking in the hour or two worth of work versus a major commitment. You'd have to ask yourself, do you have it in you to spend 100 hours over the course of months? Do you have the time? Do you have the energy? Do you have the skill set to go and organize things? Many of you do, but if you really are honest with yourself, this here is seamless, simple. I think it's worth a lot. So there's a bunch of ways to do this in your garage, getting cabinets, getting tools organized. There are a bunch of different options out there. I've seen most of them, if not all of them. I've traveled around the darn country and have gone to many different shows to try to see, which cabinets are for me. I love the Rousseau stuff. For me, Sonic MSS, MSS Plus. If I could only choose one, man, I'm going to get in trouble. But I think it's it. I know it is. It's what I have in my garage out back here. And so I cannot stress to you enough how amazing the feeling is to get your life and drawer. They kind of, for me, go hand in hand, organized, structured. And then the beauty of the simplicity of you just lay the foam inlay in a drawer that's made specifically for it. It's awesome. So again, Sonic MSS Plus, fit and finish, best in class. Foam inlay, best in the world. Tools, great. Cabinet organization, structure, the amount of cabinet choices and the way we can put this together for you is awesome. So assuming you like black cabinets, assuming we have a setup that fits for you, this is a very, very viable choice. I would highly recommend it. So hit us up. We'd be happy to help you. And man, I can't wait to put my Sonic MSS Plus array in the back here. And be ready. The new Sonic MSS stuff is coming shortly after this video. So there'll be lots of content, lots of videos on that stuff. The MSS stuff is 25–30% less cost than the MSS Plus. So it's going to be really awesome. And it's about 5.5 inches less deep. So it's going to fit in garage a little bit tighter. So stay tuned for some content on that. But I'll be sure to show you how the foam inlays fit in that too. So stuff is awesome. I can't recommend it enough. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.